Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Around the Bush. Glad to have you here once again. It is a week for release dates, release of anime games, and this is the show where we talk about anime games, so you know it's going to be a good one. With me, as usual, my co-host, Rene. How are you feeling today? Rene, how are you feeling today?
I am feeling muted. I was feeling pretty muted at the beginning of this episode. And I then wondered why you left. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good today. A lot to talk about. A lot of exciting. This was an exciting anime week. Let's put it like that.
Oh yeah. Some major releases happened, and we're here to talk about them. Some smaller stuff happened too. We're gonna cover it all. Welcome to Around the Bush, and we start the show with the biggest release of the week: One Piece Odyssey, the new One Piece game, triple quality RPG. A lot of people turned off by its turn-based combat system, which is understandable given that it's a younger audience and people prefer action games. But having reviewed this game now, I think this is a really good One Piece game, one of the best One Piece games ever made.
Game good.
It is charming. It is everything that you could possibly want out of a One Piece story. I think the Wofford Island and the original characters are really, really cool. And it has a turn-based combat system, yes, but it does bring something new. And I love when RPGs feel fresh in a way. And this definitely feels fresh. You can watch the full review on the main channel. I think the one downside this game has is that it is a bit too scared of giving you any real difficulty, any real challenge. It's almost like, okay, One Piece, we're going to make a game for kids, so we're going to tone down the difficulty a little bit. And I wish it would challenge me a little bit more during the story at the very least. I still have not done a lot of post-game content. Maybe there is some challenging stuff there. But I would have liked to be challenged during the story itself. I think it's missing that boss fight that you just get stuck on and you have to bang your head against the wall and understand the combat a little bit better. That combat encounter that really forces you to understand how this works.
Yeah, I think one of the things about the like for me at least, when I used to play RPGs when I had time, it didn't happen very often, but sometimes you got that boss fight that was like 20 levels above you.
Yeah,
and you had to figure out either get to the level, grind a bit. But also come up with a strategy. What does this boss do? What's the elemental status that I can use to defeat him? And missing that in an RPG hurts the experience a little bit. I can see that.
Yeah, it's not just the combat though. This game does throw some puzzles at you once in a while, but it's really going through the motions for the most part. The first couple of puzzles, I would solve them by accident before understanding what the mechanic was. I would be like, okay, I'm going to interact with this thing. Interacted with it, solved. Okay, well, that was it. After I solve it, I'm like, oh, that's what they wanted me to do. But like, okay, it's already solved. And other puzzles are a bit more complex, which is not to say they're challenging. It's more of a case of you enter a room, you see what must be done. It just takes you a while to run from point A to point B, press button, press another button, watch an animation. Like, you can see the solution right away, but it takes a while for you to solve it, and that's just really bad for the pacing. That said, other than that, I think the combat is super engaging. It's got this, it's turn-based, but then every character is placed into a different zone, and they cannot move between zones until they have defeated all the enemies in their zone. And the game constantly throws dynamic modifiers at you, sort of, where they will like, okay, I'm gonna stun this character, and you have to defeat every enemy in this character's zone in order for them to join the battle. Otherwise, it's just gonna be stunned and they're gonna be knocked out. But you're also getting attacked by other enemies, so first you gotta get rid of the enemies around you, and then you gotta save that guy. Really neat stuff like that. And then it has also like optional objectives that might pop up, like defeat this guy with Luffy, defeat this guy with Zoro. Yeah, I had a really good time, and I I actually want to come back to it a lot. Like, I really want to do the post-game content. I want to do it all. I think it's really good. One Piece Odyssey is better than I was expecting. Dude, these scenarios are crazy. When I went to Water 7 the first time and I saw the Mayor's Hall with a big waterfall, it was like, damn, I've never seen Water 7 be so beautiful.
This is I was gonna shout out, first of all, enemy design. Like a lot of enemies, they look pretty cool. I really love what they did there. Environmental design, pretty cool. Graphics, honestly, this game looks pretty good, man. Watching the footage, obviously I was watching the footage in 4K, but this game looks pretty good. This art style actually works really well, and again, it was something that we spoke about before. It didn't hit the first time, but then we played the game at Gamescom and we saw, oh wait, this game looks good. And now looking at the footage in 4K, really fucking good. I really like the graphics. And shout out to the music as well. What a great soundtrack. Like,
Great soundtrack.
I don't know, I haven't played the game and I just listened to the soundtrack because I was transferring this the audio files so that we could use it in the video. But I don't know how much it hits during gameplay, but I will tell you that I loved every single piece of song that I listened while converting those musics. Amazing.
It hits pretty hard. I mean, the song selection I gave you was already like pre-selected by me because I knew what songs went the hardest. Not every song is like that. I think Dressrosa, for instance, we're seeing Dressrosa on screen right now. The Dressrosa exploration soundtrack kind of sucks, so I didn't even capture it.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's completely fucked up. I don't think I ever got a sense of the Dressrosa scale. I mean, I got it during the show, but being there and being able to control the camera and seeing it all for yourself, I think gives you a different perspective. It's
just amazing cool. for One Piece fans. I wanna say something else too. I feel like we've been getting some comments on the main channel for the review of this game, saying that they are surprised that the game is good and they might give it a chance. And it begs the question: was there a problem with marketing as well? Because one thing is we saying during our reactions that this game might be good and people not believing us. And that's kind of on them. But when you get comments saying, well, this is better than expected, I might try this out. Would this be a marketing problem? Because I don't understand. Like, we have said this before, this game is probably gonna be good. We kind of know what we're watching. We have played other RPGs. This seems like a good game. People didn't believe us, and then we get the review. We show them the full content, and now people believe. What do you think happened there?
I think, first of all, there's a different genre that people are looking for. So a lot of the reception was very middling from the very announcement. And after that, I think they never showed... I guess that's not fair to say. I think they were scared of showing too much. I think they really held back on some of the stuff that makes the game shine. And maybe they were just too scared. They played it too safe. I think like having the Gamescom demo be the same demo that they showed months before, and not even letting us see the boss fight. Like, that boss fight doesn't matter. Like, let us see the monkey boss fight. We spent so long traveling to save Nami, and then the demo would end right before the monkey boss fight. The monkey boss fight is fine. It's not like it's gonna spoil anything, because this game has so many boss fights. It has so many. I think they were too conservative in what they showed.
Yeah, so it was probably a mix of people not wanting or thinking they don't want an RPG because it doesn't fit what they imagined, versus also the probably conservative marketing. I also want to shout out something else. I saw a comment saying that this was a Persona 5 reskin. Let me tell you guys, there were RPGs before Persona 5. Let me just tell you that.
Persona 5 is a Fire Emblem reskin. I don't know.
look, Persona 5 came out in 2016, 2017.
Right.
I've been playing RPGs since the 90s, and I'm pretty sure people have been playing before that, so I don't know, man. It's just a funny comment that I saw.
Good game. I'll go back to it, clear some endgame stuff, maybe even live stream it, maybe make more videos on it, we'll see. But for now, One Piece Odyssey, the review is out. Enjoy it. It's there. It's out. It's done. Next up, let's talk about the other big release of the week, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot Bardock, Alone Against Fate. Now, this is the same song. Okay, can we get another one? All right, sure. Bardock Alone Against Fate is a piece of DLC that's just as big and got the same amount of treatment that the Trunks DLC got at the end of Season 1. So this is the first Season 2 DLC that's coming out for Kakarot. And having finished it yesterday, there will be a video today on the main channel with a review as well. I will say it took me about 4 hours to beat the game. That is side quests included. But there is some post-game combat challenges that you can do after that. I think this is almost as good as the Trunks DLC, but I would put the Trunks DLC above. Personally, I would put the Trunks DLC above. And I think that is mainly because it relies too much on those group encounters. If you have been following the marketing for this DLC, you have seen Bardock go up against a group of 200 enemies, right? Which is something that the game already did in the past, but it does it a lot in this DLC. And I think that's a good encounter to sort of bring some variety to the game whenever you need to break the monotony of doing 1v1 fights. I think that's a good tool to use, but it uses it as the default combat, and it's not as fun, I think, as the combat in Kakarot when it's 1v1 or 1v3 or something like that. When it's fighting against those big groups of enemies, it becomes a bit more mechanical over time, and I think that works against it.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, let's be honest. Kakarot is in general a game just about, mashing, and when you have one-on-one encounters like the one we were watching, you have specific moves you need to dodge, stuff like that, specific to a boss fight.
Oh man,
that becomes a bit that's better.
Frieza First Form is an incredible boss fight. It's one of my favorites in the entire game. Frieza First Form. We never got Frieza First Form in the base game. They skipped him, but Frieza First Form here is one of my favorite boss fights ever.
Yeah, and when you remove that, and then it becomes more mashing. I can see it being less fun because that's not where Kakarot shines. But pretty happy that the DLC has gotten good treatment, like the Trunks one. It's just I think it's exciting for like them putting out another good piece of DLC means that we're probably gonna get more and more, and they're gonna get the same treatment. And honestly, I'm just now excited to see what's next and what they do with the next DLC, because as we've spoke about last week, there's a lot of things that they could do that makes Kakarot a new experience, and I'm excited for that.
Indeed. And at the end of the launch trailer, we have a little teaser for the next DLC. Next DLC being the 23rd? Is it 23rd? I think it's 23rd. 23rd World Martial Arts Tenkaichi from the original Dragon Ball, which confirms the leaks that we got last week. We talked about this last week. The leaked that said that this was going to be the next one. There it is. Okay. 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai. There it is. Okay, so this arc right here, that will be the next one. This was a rumor, and now it is absolutely 100% confirmed, because here it is. That's that Goku. It's that Goku.
Exciting.
Yeah, exciting because like the Dragon Ball, the Bardock DLC was so good that this just makes it all the DLCs coming forward more exciting, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
It's really awesome.
Yeah, and not only that, it's just the fact that they are willing to go back and forth between sagas. That is also exciting because it gives us more room to speculate and to get hyped about what they're doing next.
Yeah. Oh, I should say that there's a nice surprise at the end of the Bardock DLC, which we're not going to spoil. I am going to spoil it in the review, but I will let you know ahead of time, and I will just show it and not say it, so you can close your eyes and not see the spoiler. I big-brained the spoiler. Just, okay, if you want it, here it is. And now you can open your eyes, the spoiler is gone. Something like that. Yeah, you should definitely... Don't buy the DLC just for that little surprise, but I thought that little surprise was awesome. It's not as big of a surprise as, like, the Trunks DLC going into the Boost Saga, because that feels like a decent chunk of the DLC. It's something a bit smaller, but I think it was really cool too. Also, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot just got the update for PlayStation 5. I just messed around with it for about 20 minutes or so. Yeah, the game looks prettier. I think the water is the biggest difference in terms of looks. And it comes with two modes, performance mode and quality mode. In performance mode, I noticed like some flower patches that didn't even exist before. It's not like all the fields are covered in flowers. It's like some portions of the field have like these flower patches and they look nicer. But you don't have 60 FPS unless you go into performance mode. And I've only been playing performance mode for about 10 minutes, so I can't really say if the flower patches are still there. The water still looks better, so at least there is that. The one thing I will say about that performance mode, every cutscene, including cinematics during combat, is still 30 FPS. It's so jarring when you are in Surge doing a cinematic Kamehameha and like that is 30 FPS and then it cuts back to 60. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah. It's a problem that has happened before, and it is indeed a bit jarring. And honestly, in a way, it is a bit disappointing just because of how good the cutscenes look in Kakarot. And I can understand they tailor the cutscenes to be 30 frames per second. They made it look that good for that specific frame rates. I understand them not being able to change it, and I still take the 60 frames per second during gameplay, even if it's not available during cutscenes. But you know,
this water looks much better. For instance, like this is really good looking water. This is quality mode, so 30 FPS. That's what you're seeing right here, 4K resolution. And as you can see, like there's no flower patches anywhere, except if you go forward a little bit, you look at the left and it's like, oh, what a beautiful flower patch. And then you approach it and like, it kind of fades like that. Okay, that's okay, weird.
Like, it's a bit weird.
It looked better at a distance. You get closer, it's like, ooh, shout.
When you get close, see, there's a lot of density, which is cool.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
The game definitely looks better, and that's always good. 60 frames per second is amazing, and it's gonna be good for when you speedrun the game too. Because
maybe I've seen some weirdness happening already, and I've only done one fight. And I will say the cutscenes look exactly the same. I haven't put them side by side, but I don't see a difference. Like the CG cutscenes, I don't think they got any treatment at all. I think this looks exactly the same as it did before. Like it's kind of blurry even, this 4K footage, and I can see the blur around the lines a lot, so I really don't think it got...
Was this originally in 4K though?
I don't think so.
Yeah, because I don't think the game was originally in 4K, and that will always make a difference. Regardless, the game looks pretty cool, pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And it's free if you own the game. So
true.
That's always good.
It was a little bit of trouble to get this game. So if you bought the Ultimate version, you have to download the PS5 Ultimate version. I was like trying to download the standard version, and I didn't understand why PlayStation would let me do it. I was like, you already own Kakarot. I'm like, I know, I just want the upgrade. But no, this is a conflicting item. Why is it a conflicting item? Okay. Then I figured it out. Oh, it's the Ultimate Edition or Deluxe Edition or whatever.
Good old PlayStation 4 and 5 upgrades.
PlayStation is a pain. And we're not done with Kakarot, because we also have some sad news. The Dragon Ball Card Warriors will end its online service in 2023. This is that side card game that Kakarot has. And they're just ending the service. The online service. You're still going to have CPU battles versus offline. But online is going to be completely gone. From the moment this game mode came out, I thought it was so weird. Like, I think there are enough fans of the Dragon Ball Card Warriors out there for this game to make sense, but not inside of Kakarot. Never inside of Kakarot. Never made any sense at all. Like, why is this a side game inside a $60 game? Why, if people are interested in the card game, like, they don't want to buy a $60 game, and then it has microtransactions on top of that if you want to pull for cards with real money and stuff like that. It just made zero sense to me from the get-go.
Yeah, this was weird from the get-go. Just make it a standalone title. Sure, make it have microtransactions, whatever. Make it free. Standalone title, free. I could see this game being very successful because it's a Dragon Ball card game. Yeah. It is so weird that they put this game that has microtransactions within full Kakarot game. And it also has online in a game that doesn't have online original. It's such a weird decision in general.
It really feels like during Season 1, they wanted a way to monetize this game long term, and they put this game mode in there. And I think now they're ramping up to release maybe a standalone card game, and they have finally figured out what they want to do with Kakarot, which is just a bunch of DLC for different arcs, right? So now it feels like they're correcting the timeline. It feels like, okay, we're going to shut this down, we're going to release our own thing, and we're going to keep releasing DLC on Kakarot, and that's how we're going to monetize long term. Which, by the way, I think the Trunks DLC and this DLC are a bit too expensive, honestly. It's $20 for a 4-hour DLC, which is high quality for sure, but it's just the pricing is a bit steep. I think the pricing only makes sense if you buy the Season Pass. Thing is, the Season Pass, it's a gamble, right? Because you don't know how good the next 2 DLC pieces are. Because the Season Pass is $40, which means if you buy 2 DLC packs, then you've bought the $40, right? But standalone, it is a bit steep. I will say that.
Yeah, the 20 sounds like a bit too much for, and not just the 4 hours. I'm usually against rating something in regards to the amount of time it takes you to play, because if it's really fucking good during 4 hours and it brings something new and it's just exciting for 4 hours straight, sure, why not? 20, I'll pay 20. I paid 20. I keep giving this example. I paid 20 for Inside. I finished in 3 hours. I would have paid 20 straight away to keep going. I don't care.
Right.
That game was so good. It just doesn't seem that it has enough content on its own to be 20. I don't know. It does sound expensive, especially because if you think about other expansions for other games, actual expansions, I wouldn't call this an expansion per se. It's just it's a DLC, even though it brings some stuff.
It is standalone. The only thing you carry over are the medals for the community boards. That's the only thing that carries over to the next DLC or the base game if you're still playing that. Other than that, no. Like, it's completely standalone. It's just like the Trunks DLC. And it does give you a lot of medals, to be fair. There's a lot of side missions in this, and they all give you medals.
Yeah. But, I guess that's your point. Season Pass makes it a bit more affordable, which I think it's much more fair. But it's also a gamble, and we usually don't like gambles, and that's why we review the games to you guys, and you can get your opinion before buying it. Yeah. I think the Season Pass will still be available throughout the whole thing, and you can buy the Season Pass at the end, but by that point you probably will be spoiled, and you don't get the experience, the DLC as soon as it launches. Yeah,
maybe. Anyway, speaking of gambling, let's talk about mobile games. There's an Avatar game. Avatar Generations. This is going to be our closing piece of news for today. Pre-registration is now available for a turn-based RPG, which I already lost a lot of you there. Don't worry, I will lose more of you soon. This will be coming out for iOS and Android in early 2023. Now, we've covered a lot of mobile games, and some of them look really amazing. All right. Are you ready to see this game? Have you seen this game before, Rene?
No. This is my first time watching this.
All right.
But I'm not a big fan of Avatar.
Okay.
In general.
Well, then get ready for Avatar Generations.
Now check this out.
Oh my! Oh shit! Oh, wait a minute.
This is
Wait a second. Wait.
And
What?
these are their stories.
Avatar fans in shambles right now.
Wait, what is this shit? I'm gonna tell you a secret. I'm gonna tell you a secret. Can you pause that video real quick?
All right, yeah.
I'm gonna ask you to search on YouTube
Okay.
Avatar Xbox 360 1000 gamer score.
Xbox 360 1000 gamer score.
Here's the thing. I played one Avatar game in my lifetime.
Uh-huh.
It looked better than this, and this was back like 20 years ago, maybe.
1000 gamer score in 1 minute? Is that what you want?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I played this game. There was a friend of mine that had the game, and I was like, "Yeah, just lend me the game. I'm gonna do 1000 gamer score." And I remember this game looking, I wouldn't say looks better, but it doesn't look worse.
Yeah. No, I
This
see your
was 20
point.
years ago.
I see your
This is
point.
just-
Yeah.
Oh my god, what is this? Oh. It's probably better too.
Damn.
I don't know,
150 for spamming B. That's crazy.
Oh, you just spam B, yeah.
Oh, that's
you,
it,
You
that's
get the
the
1000 gamer score. This is like a meme in the achievement hunting community too.
So the last Legend of Korra, I think, Legend of Korra game. I think that's the best looking Avatar game probably. Made from by
I was about to
Platinum
bring
Games.
this up. Like, yeah, Legend of Korra. I remember liking this.
I like this a
somewhat.
lot. It did not get good
Yeah.
reviews. Like
Ooh,
people
yeah,
did
it
not
looks-
vibe with this, but this is
I'm a big beat 'em up
Platinum.
fan.
Yeah.
And the mobile game.
Yeah, they you like unlock the elements as you go for each level, and then you replay all the levels if you want. So that's optional with all your powers, and it's almost like stance switching between the 4 elements.
There's some platforming.
Yeah, pretty minor platforming. I think the levels are very straightforward, and the game is kind of small. So if you want 1000 gamer score, I mean, that's probably not hard. I remember liking this a lot. Oh, perfect parries. Let's go.
It's not as easy as pressing B.
But now what we have is this.
Let's break some rules. Excellent form. I'm not backing down.
Like, when you're making a turn-based battle game, okay? When you're making a turn-based battle game, you can really go nuts on animation. You can go nuts on style. You can go nuts on a lot because the animations are predetermined. But it's just like the player selects what animation they want to see. It's not like they have full control. You don't have to account for like transition animations and keeping controls responsive and stuff like that. They did it worse. It's so bad.
It's bad. It's bad. And you could argue, well, this is a mobile game. We've been about how mobile games work nowadays.
Yeah.
This isn't it. This isn't it. You know, I'm not an Avatar fan, but I'm sorry for Avatar fans. This is not.
Looks like a
Probably not going to be the game for you.
I'm
guys.
depressed.
What
That's
a
all I'm gonna say.
crazy cash grab this is. Yeah, I'm so sorry I had to bring this to your attention. This is insane how bad it looks.
I saw the announcement because it's been talked about for like a year, but nothing's been shown. And we finally get gameplay and it was dead, and I was like, I'm going back to bed.
And probably that was probably the right thing to do. Anyway, we reached the Q&A portion of the show. I'm gonna look at No Mic Voice and I'm gonna look at chat for any questions you guys might have. Let's chat for a little bit and then we get out of here. Because I have a fighting game to commentate. I'm going to do more commentary. 2023, I don't know if I told you guys this already. I'm going to become an FGC commentator. I've already commentated CVK on Monday, and today I'm going to commentate Salty EU. So that starts in about an hour and a half. That's cool. If you want to see me on the mic, Salty EU on Twitch. All right, questions. Have you seen Puss in Boots? Because you should. I should. I really should. I went and saw Avatar instead. I regret it. I really wanted to see Puss in Boots. I still want to.
You went instead? You can still go.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll join
I
you.
don't go to the movies too often, but whenever I find the time, I'm like, okay. I really want to see what this 3D thing is from Avatar, and you know, wasn't for me.
I can join you if you want, if you don't have anyone to go, because
Cool. I know Raquel wants to go, but she always wants to go, and then she's never available. So maybe, man, maybe. What's
Yeah,
Salty
just let me know.
running attorney for today? Dragon Ball Fighters. I'm gonna start commentary with Dragon Ball Fighters. I might do a Guilty Gear Strive tournament towards the end of the month. I have signed up for a Guilty Gear Strive tournament at the end of the month. I'll say that. We'll see if I make it, because there's a lot of names signed up for that one. Okay. Bit bummed that ATV streams are just ATV here on YouTube. So there's no other stuff, right? Besides ATV. I feel you. That is something that we're gonna keep doing for a while. But like I said last week, we also want to do bigger live streams. And if those bigger live streams start working better than ATV, then we might make ATV a longer thing. Making a mobile game for anime instead of going console. I will never understand. Well, money. It's pretty simple to understand. It's more expensive to make a console game, and the payoff is usually not as big as the mobile. So, there you go.
At least they think that the payoff is good. But the payoff is good
at the very least, there's less of an investment. So if things go south, it's not as big of a risk.
Yeah, it's easier to, get the money out of what you spent. But I just feel like, and this is a clear example of that. There's a lot of people that know that you can make a lot of money with mobile games, but they always look at it wrong. And this is what happened here.
Absolutely. Okay. First action scene of the movie is pretty good. Much Attack on Titan, so good. You think we'll have a Bleach game after the new anime finishes? Maybe there will be an announcement or something, but I think they should release something before the new anime finishes. They have 3 more cours to at least announce something. This is the biggest chance Bleach fans will ever get. We will never have as good of a chance for a good Bleach game as we do right now. The anime is peak. The popularity is as high as it ever was. And so there's interest there. And after this is done, I don't think that interest will be there anymore. That's going to be the end. FMA game being mobile broke my heart. What broke my heart was the gacha curve in the Full Metal Alchemist mobile game. But the mobile game itself was really cool. I really liked it. What's the stuff you find fun about commentating? I can expense trips to FGC tournaments. That's the funniest. That's the funnest part.
We need Glob at Evo.
I need Glob at Evo. Not this year. I'll tell you that much. But if I keep going at this pace, and if I can grab a commentary spot for a couple of offline tournaments in Europe this year, then next year is looking like a possibility. Will you stream yourself wearing the new official Jolene lingerie? Who tells you I'm not already doing that? Maybe it's time to watch Bleach now? I've been thinking, Renee. I've been thinking you should watch Bleach.
How long is it?
Very long, but I've been thinking you should just watch the new stuff. There is a lot of backstory, though. I think they explain a lot of it, but I don't think you would get all of it. So, I don't know. I really think you should watch it, though. Maybe, watch one episode at a time and come ask me questions. On stuff you don't understand. I could
try and watch, a recap.
You could watch a recap.
I guess I could do it. And it looks good. But I also thought, if there was an anime but that is too much. One Piece is too much. I really vibe with One Piece, and I would love to watch One Piece. But there is not enough time in this world for me to watch One Piece.
And I will be, as a One Piece fan, I'll be the first one to say One Piece is not worth it. Because even though it is, in my opinion, one of the best stories ever told in anime, even though it is absolutely genius, for One Piece to be worth watching, it needs to be worth watching over 20 other anime. Just because of the amount of episodes. Can I really recommend One Piece over 20 of their other best anime in the world? No.
No, that's insane. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves pushed back once again. It's not Sea of Thieves.
You read the One Punch manga at all? No, I do not. I asked because it has now reached the moment. Okay, cool. No, I do not read it. What infos do we have on the subathon for now? We don't. We just don't. We haven't started planning. I worked all weekend on the One Piece review. Like the entire weekend, I did not put that game down. And you know, if you look at the playtime, it's like, oh, it's 35 hours. Yeah, but my computer was randomly rebooting every time I play the game. So I lost so much progress during that review. It was exhausting. After I was done with One Piece, it was like Monday, end of day. Tuesday was writing the review and sending it over to Vegeta's for editing. Wednesday I worked on another video that will come out next week, hopefully. And Thursday was a bit of a weird day because we thought Kakarot's DLC would be out, and then it wasn't. So then I played it at midnight, and now here we are. Which is to say we didn't have time to plan the subathon yet, but hopefully next week.
Yeah, I have a few ideas, and I'm actually excited to do one of those. It's been a while since we've done random shit on stream. It is a bit of exhausting every time we do it, but it's also very fun.
Oh, I just got the Titan joke. It's not Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
It's not Sea of Thieves. I don't think he... Wait, was that on purpose?
Either way,
I don't think
funny.
he did it on purpose.
Either way, it's funny.
Ubisoft is not publishing Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves is out.
Sea of Thieves is thriving. Still. It's a very successful one.
Do you have any review which you regret the way you wrote it / the ranking you gave the game?
Dragon Ball FighterZ.
No, I gave that a B. That's fine. But I would give that. No netcode, bad story. That's a B.
I see.
Nah, that's still the best fighting game of all time. Yes, Kill La Kill If. Too high. I gave it an A. And to be fair, I think that game was cooler when it came out than it was when it got patched. And not just the patch, it's like the community discovered really broken stuff. And they tried to fix the broken stuff, but they broke other stuff. So it's almost like the game didn't work from the get-go. Like the systems were bad from the start. But there was no way for me to tell that from the beginning. And also, I put a little too much faith in the long-term support because the game came out with, I think, 10 characters total, and then 2 more characters were coming out for free. And I thought, they're just going to continue. No. So it ended up being a very small roster at the end. And yeah, I gave it too high a score. I do regret that. And right now I would give it a much lower score because it's dead and it even more broken than on release. But on release I should have given it a B. Other than that, yeah, there's some little things here and there that I regret or should have phrased differently. The One Piece review, for instance, I said, well, the One Piece crew are revisiting the islands from their memories, but things are different. For instance, Robin wasn't a part of the crew, so she's experiencing Alabasta for the first time. Got a bunch of comments saying, yeah, but Robin was in Alabasta. I know. And the game actually acknowledges that. She's experiencing it for the first time with the crew. But okay, well, I could have phrased that differently, and we did show a little bit of a spoiler at the end, but we chose not to take the video down because I don't think anyone understands what's happening, so they can't really be spoiled. It's more of like, wait, what? What's that?
Ender asks, does DBFC go up a grade when it gets rollback? I honestly, I think that the offline is so bad that
Offline
it's
is bad?
still not enough. It's still not enough. Offline modes. Offline modes.
Oh,
for me,
no,
for me,
I disagree. If rollback was in the game at launch, it would 100% get another grade. I think, for me, fighting games, they can have good offline modes, and that will bump them up a grade. Or they can have good rollback netcode, which means you can spend a lot of time just playing games, and that will bump it up a grade. Like I think having both makes the game really special. But just having one or the other for the fighting game genre specifically is enough.
Yeah. That's we disagree on that. I think there have been examples of fighting games that are very good on both regards, and DBFC is just not one of them. It's not that it's like it's lacking in features. It is a terrible offline game in terms of offline modes. Like, there's nothing to unlock with the arcade mode. The story mode is just.
Yes, there is.
Ugh.
You unlock the blues.
Yeah,
In arcade mode,
what the fuck
you
is
unlock
that,
Goku
man?
Blue and Vegeta Blue. You unlock 2 characters in arcade mode. What else do you want to unlock?
That's kind of crazy. That's kind of OD.
You mean Street Fighter, where you get a bit of story with each of the characters you clear?
I mean Street Fighter that came out with what 15 characters as opposed to 24. Like that's so
almost
much-
all arcade modes nowadays have
so
have
many more
that.
stories though.
But you could, I don't know. There's not really. What about the unlocks? Why can't you unlock colors through arcade mode? That would
That would be cooler.
make,
Instead of the capsules, that would be cooler. Yeah.
there's just a lot of things that would make it be a bit more fun to go through those
Or make
through the
it
motions.
or make it an option, just like the blues, where like you can unlock the blues with money or in arcade mode. So like for people that don't want to grind arcade mode, because honestly I think grinding arcade mode is boring in my opinion. But if people don't want to grind arcade mode, they have an alternate way of getting it, and that would be the capsules.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah, there are a few clever ways of building offline modes in combo trials and stuff like that. I think is also.
They tried.
But to me, like if a fighting game comes out, has 0 offline content, but has solid practice and solid netcode, that's a good fighting game. It doesn't need more than that. It needs more than that to be successful, to like pull in the casual audience 100%. But to review well, I don't think it needs more than that.
yeah, and again, like the reviews are always opinion based, and I do think that when you're reviewing a game, you're always comparing it to other games. And when there have been fighting games that have done everything, and I look at Injustice 2, and it's like top of the fucking. It's not even one of the best fighting games of all time. It is a game that fights with other AAA genres. Like, it is that good in terms of content and what it does, being the story, the customization, the game modes. Everything just fucking works. And when you have an example of a game like that, it is hard for me to not criticize Dragon Ball FighterZ, despite it being my favorite fighting game of all time when it comes to how it plays. But then it has nothing. And then the netcode is garbage. One of the worst fucking... So it's hard for me not to look at the offline modes when there have been other examples that succeeded in that.
I hear you. I would still give it an A. But having everything maybe would break my review scale, and I would go S rank. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, well, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, that makes sense. I forgot that we have an S rank.
We haven't used it in
We never used it.
forever.
But I forgot.
I mean, it's there. I'm ready to surprise everyone with an S rank, but it's never happened. So.
And keep in mind, like, we usually, Globku sometimes comes to me when he has some doubts, like, what should I grade this game? And then he explains the game to me, and I give my opinion on what that letter seems to me in regards to what he just said. But it's always his review. Like, I never...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When I ask Rini for an opinion and like I explain my position, I'm looking for him to. What I'm trying to get him to do is to make me question my decision to rank something. And like when he goes, I think it should be a B because of this and this, and I go, no, I disagree. So like the score is actually this thing, or I agree, and okay, he's totally right. Yeah, I should score that.
Yeah, but it's always I have disagreed with some of.
That's what the conversation is.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, you disagreed with Kill la Kill from day one. But anyway,
and I think JoJo
like
too.
JoJo, I stand by my JoJo review.
What was this? What was it?
D.
I think that game's I thought that game was a B at least.
I disagree. I don't think it has single player and it doesn't have netcode. So like the single player.
I wish it had that code.
Yeah, because like the single player
God,
content
I wish it had that code.
is fight after fight. I don't think If the single player of your fighting game is something that I can easily replicate 90% of in versus mode by picking the right characters, it's not single player content. That's where I stand on single player content in
For
in
me,
fighting
it
games.
was you gave too much discredit to the netcode, where like I think the game plays and has enough variety that it is a really fun game to lab and just
I agree.
even
I agree.
And
But to the point that you just made about the netcode, if a game is excellent in mechanics, if it is excellent in character variety and all that stuff, like I think JoJo's is, what is the point of labbing and having fun in the lab when we can never apply that anywhere? There's not going to be offline tournaments for this, and there's no way to play online. Like, what is the point? You know?
So in a way, and I think that the offline modes for JoJo are better than Dragon Ball Fighters. Dragon Ball Fighters would be closer to a D. Because it also sucks online. Not as much, let's be honest.
No,
not as
you
much.
can play it.
And it is a better game, in my opinion, more balanced, for sure. So it's a better game, but I would give it, for example, maybe a C.
I don't think the Dragon Ball FighterZ netcode is terrible, all things considered. You know, CC2 netcode is terrible. It's unplayable. And that's why JoJo's is a D.
Yeah,
Like,
and there's also another problem with Dragon Ball Fighters 2, which is, and this is problem / not a problem, because when you play on PS4, the netcode functions a bit better, or at least there's less fluctuations.
PC optimization, yeah.
But then you have the base delay on PS5. But then you go to PC and it has less delay.
Yeah.
But it's a bit more bearable, but also it's fucking unbearable sometimes because PC it's a crazy world, Dragon Ball Fighters.
Yeah, it is.
The way I describe it is there's delay based and then there's CC2 netcode. And
yeah.
it's like
And then there's Biking Black Magic.
There's yeah, Biking Black Magic. What the fuck? Well, how is One's
don't
Justice
get
so
it.
good? Okay, anyway. One's Justice, that's the game Smoke wanted me to mention. He wanted me to say that I think One's Justice deserved a better score. That's what triggered this whole question, isn't it? Just confess. Bust it up.
What is the score we gave to
C.
Injustice 2? C.
C, same as the first game. Bad single player and lack of networking features. Like, it has good netcode, so that's awesome. But like, no spectator and lobbies that break.
Oh yeah,
and...
C. Yeah, C. Unfortunately, we have a lot of love for that game.
Yeah. Lobbies
and
that break, and if you don't care about tournament stuff like I do a lot, if you just want to play ranked, the ranking system is a scam. It is just, you just gain points, so it's a grind and not a skill check. It doesn't determine your skill at all. So I think all of those combined take the value down to me.
It's actually very funny because I have seen a lot of people from the video games media that actually like anime and fighting games and not just like your regular Final Fantasy and God of War reviewer that has never played an anime game. No, people that have actually played a lot of anime games and fighting games that look into My Hero and say that game looks like garbage. It plays like garbage. And it's something that I was like, when I saw this opinion being spoken in kind of funny games, I was like, God damn, I so disagree with this. But then the way they spoke about the animations and how clunky the game looks, despite it playing really well,
It doesn't click right away.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does. It really does. But anyway, I think that is it for the questions. Thank you so much for watching another edition of Around the Bush. And we'll be back next week with some more live streams. Some more longer live streams too. We're going to start doing some longer stuff next week. Looking forward to it. Rene, Enderup, Yaya, thank you for participating today. Really lovely to have you here. Glob could tag me when commentary starts. No. What? We're gonna tag you specifically? It's not gonna I'll tweet it, I guess, but I'm not gonna tag you specifically. It starts in roughly 1 hour on Salty EU. Team Salty EU on Twitch. Gonna get ready for that. I'm gonna review the Bardock DLC review. See if it's good for upload. Look forward to that. It's coming out later today. And we're done. What a week. Man, I did not have a weekend yet. I am ready to crash. But I think I have a 4-hour commentary shift ahead of me. Because not a lot of people signed up. It's going to be an endurance run. Oh, well, let's do it. Let's do
crazy.
it. I need my commentator reel so I can apply to Evo. That's the plan.
Yeah, and I can fly to Evo
Yes.
as a business expense, and then
Bye.
You already gotta come. You could just